Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. In the section of Matthew that we're in, it's interesting that twice we have the Lord speak about children. In chapter 18, you had the disciples asking Jesus, who is the greatest in the kingdom? And he called a child to himself, and he said that you had to become converted or turn to be like a child. He says, unless you become like a child, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. And then in our reading today in chapter 19, you have some parents who brought their children to him, wanted him to lay hands on the children. The disciples rebuked him, but the Lord once again emphasizes that it's the people who are like children who are the kingdom people. It says, for the kingdom of heaven belong to such as these. And I don't think it's by any accident that we have these messages by the Lord concerning children in the midst of the topics that we find in this section of Matthew. Because in this section of Matthew, there are some very difficult teachings. Not necessarily difficult to understand, but difficult to follow. If you remember in chapter 16, you had the cost of discipleship. If we were to come after Jesus, we are to deny ourselves, take up our cross, and follow after him. We are to lose our lives so that we can find our lives. We saw Jesus talking about the fact that rank in the kingdom would be inversed, and it'd be the opposite of what you see in the world, which would have been very difficult for the disciples to wrap their minds around. You have discipline and prayer talked about in chapter 18. And then the real difficult teaching on forgiveness given to Peter in the latter part of chapter 18. Divorce, a very controversial topic back then and still a controversial topic today, is covered in chapter 19, which precedes this section about the children. And then you have the rich young ruler coming up after this little section and talking about the fact that it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom. So time and time again, Jesus has given these hard sayings, these difficult teachings that would have been very difficult for the disciples to receive, and can even be difficult for us, even in our day and age, to accept. And so by bringing up these children, both in chapter 18 and in chapter 19, we get a continual reminder of the mindset that we need if we're going to receive the teachings of Christ. A child has some unique qualities that allows the child to be able to receive instruction. A child, for one, is very open-minded. When we are small children, we are open-minded. We are able to accept new ideas. Our brains are still very flexible. Very easy to change our minds when we're children. We take in concepts relatively easily. But we also, as children, are very humble. As you get older, you start thinking you know everything. When you're a small child, you think your parents know everything. And then you become a teenager, then you think you know everything. And then, as the saying goes, then after you get old, then you realize just how much your parents really did know. And you go back to how you felt when you were a child. But nonetheless, you are humble when you're a small child. It kind of goes with the open-mindedness. You're willing to accept new ideas. You don't think that you understand everything. You don't think you have it all together, and you're ready to receive instruction. And so a child is open-minded. A child is humble. And this allows the child to then be able to receive teachings. And if we are to be kingdom people, and if we are to receive Christ's teachings, not only the easy teachings, the ones that are pleasing to us and kind of run alongside our tendencies, but also the difficult ones that tend to run against our tendencies and cause us to be challenged, we need to have the heart of a child. In maturity, we should be like adults. Scriptures are very clear in teaching us that we are to be mature. Book of Hebrews in the latter part of chapter 5 and the early part of chapter 6 is very clear about that. We are to be people who are mature in our understanding and in our growth and our knowledge of the Lord. But when it comes to our attitude and our approach to scriptures and to our walk with the Lord, we have the heart of a child that is humble, that humbles itself before the Lord, that is open and ready to receive what the Lord teaches, that isn't stubborn, that doesn't think that they have it all together, but are open to receive what God has to give. And so this is very important for us as we are engaged in this group and as we are engaged in reading the Bible each and every day. It's important that we go to the Word with the heart of a child, being open-minded to what the Scriptures teach us, being humble in our approach to the Scriptures, and being subjective, or subjecting ourselves to what the Scriptures is teaching us, what the Scriptures are teaching us, and giving our hearts to the Lord as a child, receiving from the Word our daily nourishment, but also our daily instruction, and doing that with a childlike heart. So let's remember this as not only today as we do our reading today, but also in future readings, to humble ourselves like a child and come to the Lord open-minded, humble, and ready to submit to what the Lord has to teach us, and being willing to take those things in and live them out in our lives. So that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. I hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.